So how will you define the HR industry?
The simplest construct of looking at an HR industry is mapping products and services to the life cycle of an employee in an organization, right from entry to exit. Therefore, the so-called first product or area is that of recruitment. And that's a big business. It's always been a big business. But the recruitment business itself has evolved and become more sophisticated. And many of the executive search firms today, in fact, have broadened their spectrum of solutioning to include A, coaching, B, leadership development, and are also dabbling in talent consulting per se. On entry into an organization, there are a variety of services that again become applicable. To begin with, induction and onboarding. There are training firms, for example, that could be of assistance here, wherein they come and provide an accelerated induction onboarding program, which sometimes is customized to the organization and sometimes is an off-the-shelf product. On induction and onboarding, of course, clearly there are aspects of the individual having to get paid. There is learning and development, which is an ongoing service that an employee expects. There is payroll, which needs to be actioned. At the end of the month, you receive your paycheck. There are benefits. Now again, there are players that would consult with organizations in this area. Here you would find that payroll and benefits outsourcing is a common service that is provided because it's not considered to be core to an organization, and capability within the organization should be focused on more strategic priorities than on administrative tasks. As far as compensation is concerned, in the procedural and distributive justice, which is how much do I pay and how do I pay it, there are consulting firms that provide services in the area of compensation, benchmarking and advisory. Within compensation per se, you would find that executive compensation, top management compensation is an area that has grown significantly, and performance is another area where a lot of the strategy consulting firms would operate alongside the HR traditionalists or the HR consulting firms. And this revolves around setting of performance targets, development of the balanced scorecard, cascading of measures into roles and responsibilities within the organization, setting up performance cycle in terms of review mechanisms, controls and checks and balances within the organization, such that you are able to build in the right degree of stretch and difficulty as far as performance targets are concerned. To ensure that performance is unleashed, there is learning and development and training. And another special set of organizations or consulting partners only do training. This is also a big area that has grown manifold given the growth prospects that India Inc. has shown and given where capability was. It's an area that I believe a lot of organizations are spending a lot more on today. A special niche area of learning and development focuses only on leadership. Organizations are spending a lot more in terms of dollars and rupees on growing and nurturing their leaders. And this doesn't necessarily mean leaders by positional hierarchy, but also frontline management, middle management and senior management. How do you keep an employee motivated right through the life cycle is something called engagement. And there are specialist firms that would provide engagement services, which really looks at preferences, priorities, demands, needs, concerns, goals of people and how they can be addressed looking at these different products, whether it's performance or leadership or onboarding or induction or employee-manager relationship. Many organizations that have a conscience provide outplacement services, and there are firms that also provide help employees with this aspect of transitioning into another organization and finding a suitable employment elsewhere. So big buckets are performance, engagement, compensation, learning and development, leadership, recruitment, outplacement services, and right through you can actually outsource any of these services to another partner, which is called outsourcing. So transactional services. So that's how the overall industry looks like.